So I passed out after smoking some weed. So I hadn't smoked in probably about 6 months, and I had barely smoked over the last year. But so yesterday, went over to the neighbor's house. I was invited, and his brother invited me to go over there and smoke with them. So I did, and I go, and so I rolled it. He's like, "Oh, they can't roll," so I rolled it. The weed was fine. It seemed totally fine. Rolled a little joint. Went out to the driveway, stood out in front of the car, smoked a joint. We sat there and smoked and talked. Smoked like half the joint. It was a pretty strong weed. And we were just sitting there talking. And then the neighbor, he's like, "I just cooked this pork loin. You gotta try it. You gotta have some. Just come get a piece." Because I was about to head home. And I'm like, "Okay, I'll come in. I'll have a piece." So I go in, and he has me cut it, and I cut off a piece and eat it. And it's like, as soon as I ate that meat, then that's when it started hitting me. I'm like, "Oh shit, I need to sit down. Do you mind if I sit down right here?" I pulled out a chair and I sat down. It's like, "Yeah, cool, whatever." And he steps back out into the garage. And then my next thing is I woke up on the floor. And I'm like, fully laid out, all the way out. I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" I'm like, "This shit's crazy. I need to go home." But yeah, when I sat down, I heard this loud noise. I heard this loud ass noise. And then the next thing like a metal noise or something, just a loud ass noise, like, and I wake up on the floor. I'm like, "Oh shit, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go home," because I just live across the street. And so I stand up. I'm really dizzy and shit, but I think I'm okay. I just woke up on the floor. I'm like, "I gotta get out of here." So stand up, open the garage door, and go to step out into the garage, and I pass out again. Straight fainted. And that time, I guess I hit my head. But so I woke up on the floor again, on the garage floor. I just feel my head, and if it's like a big dent in my head, it feels like it's like swollen up, and then in the middle of the egg, it's like a dent. And I'm like, "Oh shit, something's wrong with my head." They're like, just sit down, stay there." So I do. I stay there. They give me some water and shit. And it was just crazy because that had never happened to me before. I had never seen that happen to anybody. I started smoking weed. I was like 12 years old. You know what I mean? And I smoked basically every single day, more and more, until like 29, and I started cutting down and I quit. And over the last year, I had maybe smoked twice, and I think it's just being so clean for so long. I had like zero tolerance. Then on top of that, like this weed that we have today, it's not like the weed that I grew up smoking. I grew up smoking like Reggie, and now all this shit is like 5, 6 times stronger, right? So, anyways, I'm just like kind of taking it as a sign. I know, like, I had never heard of it before. My wife's a nurse though, and she told me, well, yeah, she hears about that. Sometimes people come in, they think they're having a stroke, and it's just like a certain reaction that the body has. Like it's a drop in blood pressure and like expansion of the blood vessels or whatever. I don't really understand the science of it. And from what I was reading, like the science is not really well understood anyways. But it happens. It happens sometimes. I'm just like, damn, I became a super lightweight over the course of 1 year. Like I was a straight pothead for the longest time. And then now, like I just straight fainted after smoking some weed. And so it's crazy, I just wanted to hop on here and say that it happens. I'm not gonna I'm just hope it's not anything else, and I don't think it is anything else other than I smoked some really strong ass weed after I had being super clean for a really long time, and hit my head and shit. But yeah, I'm fine, and just gonna like take it as a sign, because in the back of my mind, I didn't really want to get high. It's like I wanted, honestly, I wanted to take some of that weed for later. is what I wanted. I just wanted to have some of the weed. But he's like, no, he didn't have any to sell me, but he would smoke with me. So we go and I smoke, and like 5 minutes later, I'm fucking on the floor, and yeah. So it happens. I had honestly never heard of it, but it happens to people. And I don't think it's gonna happen to me again because I'm probably not gonna smoke again. And if I do, it'll be like maybe at one or two little tokes. Definitely not gonna be like blazing back half the joint of that strong ass weed, knowing that this shit is a possibility. It seems kind of unpredictable. But yeah, I passed out after smoking weed.